What if Deku had Goku Black's powers? So this is a new what if, and I'm hoping every Saturday to Sunday I'm gonna be coming out with new what ifs. But that's only if I finish, because I'm only gonna have 3 what ifs going at a time, because I don't want to overwhelm myself and forget things. So no, I'm not gonna be getting rid of what if Deku was a legendary Super Saiyan. I'm not getting rid of that. I'll just finish it later, as I'm going to be doing a what if Deku had Goku Black's powers for today and tomorrow. So let's get right into the video. So right off the bat, we're just gonna slap right down into the middle, and Deku's 4 years old. He's about to get his quirk, and like Deku, instead of having green hair, he has just completely black hair, and he looks super evil, and everyone's scared of him, and they're probably like, his quirk's probably going to be super powerful. So when they go over to the doctor, they say, "Kid, you seem like you have a quirk because you're super strong, but you just don't." And he's like, "What?" "But I've been able to do things like this," as he covers his hand in a rose. So imagine Super Saiyan Rose. Just imagine his hand being covered with like that jagged thing that he used to stab Goku. And he can cover it, and they're like, "But kid, you don't have a quirk. How can you do that?" And it's basically kind of spoilers for my other series, that Deku's a Super Saiyan and not and he doesn't have a quirk. He's a Saiyan. So basically, Deku is has a god genes in him. Basically, not I don't really know how to explain it, but he has god genes, which I'm gonna say, just out of nowhere, that a god was able to breed with Inko. He used the Dragon Balls or whatever to be able to do that, and that made Deku Black, which I'm just gonna call him Deku. And like the doctor's just like, "Yeah, kid, you don't have a quirk, but you seem super strong. You can be the first quirkless hero." And he's like, "Yeah, I'll be the first quirkless hero," as he just cloaks himself in the Rose energy, which I'm gonna call it Rose Key. And he's like, "Huh, I wonder why I don't have a quirk." And he's thinking in the car, when Inko's driving him back, and she's like, "I'm sorry, Izuku, that you don't have a quirk." And he's like, "It doesn't matter. I still have this awesome, sick, pink red thing." And you're like, "Yeah, I bet that's a super strong power." And then the next day when he's back at the school, everyone just runs up to him and asks him, "Hey, what's your quirk? What's your quirk?" And he just says, "Oh, I don't have one." And they're like, "What?" "Yeah, the doctor told me I don't have one." Even though I showed him this, as he covers his entire arm into a rose rose key, as he punches the wall, and it just breaks instantly. And they're like, "What? How'd you do that if you don't have a quirk?" He's like, "I don't know." And then everyone's like thinking, either you have a quirk and the doctor lied to you, or you're not human. And Nikki's like, "Huh, well, at least I'm stronger than you guys." And then Bakugo comes in and says, I got a quirk yesterday," as he has the explosions in his hands. And like nobody, I mean, there's some kids that run up to him and say, "Wow, cool," but like they're all focused in Deku. So in this timeline, Bakugo's actually looking up to Deku, and Deku is kind of like Bakugo, but he's a little more like he's a little more like Asta. He's kind of stupid, but well, he's not stupid, but he's just like, he doesn't give up, basically, because he knows he's strong. Um so that happens, and Bakugo's just like looking up to Deku. Like he looks up to Deku and he's like, "Whoa, that's so cool. He doesn't have a quirk, but he can do that." And like, so now it's just a time skip until the start of the anime. Nothing really happens. In like that time span, Deku just like trains his body to get stronger, because he wants to be a strong hero without a quirk. And that's when he gets attacked by the sludge villain. And Deku has ki, so he actually has taught himself how to fly during those time, because he he's like, huh, I wonder what this power is. And like randomly, he was just like, huh, I wonder if I can fly with this. And then he just started floating. He's like, whoa. And so over that time, he taught himself how to fly and also taught himself how to throw rose ki blasts. So that happens, and he's just like, oh, this is so sick. And now we're at the start of the anime, and instead of Bakugo picking on him and throwing his journals out, he's just like, do you think you can make it to UA without a quirk, Deku? Like, he still gives him the name Deku because he thinks he's still quirkless and he just has a random power. Like, Bakugo thinks he's quirkless, but he's not human, so he still gives him the name Deku. And Deku's like, yeah, I'm stronger than you. And Bakugo's like, you want to bet on it? And Deku just puts his entire body in rose ki and just stares him down. And Bakugo's like, yeah, maybe not. I mean, they're like, they're still friends, but like Bakugo is just kind of, he's scared, but also pretty mad that Deku is quirkless and still has this power. And Deku's like, that's what I thought, Bakugo, Hachan. That happens, Deku's walking home from school, and he takes the shortcut. The sludge villain's like, this is gonna be fun, taking over your body. And Deku's like, huh? And the sludge villain just completely surrounds him and engulfs him. And Deku's just like, huh, guess I'm in here now. And like the sludge villain's trying to choke him, and then just Deku releases all of his energy, like, ha! Just releases everything. And the sludge villain just blows up. He goes everywhere, and he's like, what's your quirk, kid? It's so strong. And he's like, oh, I don't have one. He's like, ow. And then Deku hears, I am here. And he's like, whoa, All Might. And he's like, wait, kid, you took care of the sludge villain? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, oh, geez. And then Deku's like, wait, before you go, can I have your autograph? And he's like, no problem. And it's already in there. But then Deku remembers he has another question, and right as he jumps, Deku jumps with him and just flies with him instead of grabbing onto him. And he's like, what? This kid has a flying quirk or something? How'd he defeat him? And then they get on that building, and he's like, crap, no time. And he just poofs into Small Might. And he's like, oh. He explains everything, and he's like, huh. And like Deku thought he was just an imposter. Like, hey, are you an imposter? And he's like, no, a couple years ago I got this injury fighting a villain. Deku's like, oh, that's tough. And then he asks All Might, can I still be a hero without a quirk? And he's like, no, sorry, it takes a lot of strength to be a hero with that. But he's like, why are you asking me? Don't you have a quirk? And Deku just like almost starts crying, like, how? I can still be a hero with this. And then he just jumps off, and he's like, wait, kid. And he's like, why do you ask me that question? It's so obvious that he has a quirk. And like Deku, like he's completely fine usually, and he can't turn into Rose Super Saiyan yet. But he's going to be able to soon. Kind of a spoiler, and like Deku also has, instead of going into a Super Saiyan, he's already unlocked this form, but it completely takes over, it like takes over his body, and it just makes him like a villain basically. He can't control her. It makes him, like, he uses it when he's super angry, and it like just takes control over him, and he just like, it's basically like if he was a villain, he'd all the time be using that form because he acts like a villain in it. He basically is like Bakugo in the canon timeline. So he's like crazy and has the attitude of a villain when he's like that, but he never really uses it in front of his friends and stuff, just because like it just makes him seem like a really bad guy and nobody would want to look up to him. So he never really uses it unless he has to. Because remember, he doesn't even have Super Saiyan Rose yet, so he can't like transform, but he's still way stronger. So that happens, and when he's walking, or when he's flying actually, he sees a big explosion, and he's like, what? He drops down, and he's like, All Might must have dropped the bottle the sludge villain was in. And he rushes it, and he's like, why are the heroes not doing anything? And then they tell him their quirks aren't suited for this kind of thing. And Deku just instantly puts Rose Key all over his arm, and he just charges, and the heroes try to stop him, and he's like they grab onto him, and Deku just says, let go of me. And he's using like this mad form right now, and he yells at the heroes to let go of me. Don't want my Ki to kill you. And they're like, Ki, what are you talking about? Could he possibly be talking about his quirk? Deku knows about Ki. Like, he has some god in him, so he knows about Ki and stuff. So they're like, this kid, we need to train him so he won't turn to the dark side. Like, because he's acting like a complete villain. And he just cloaks his arm in it, and he just jabs, just a straight jab right through the sludge villain, and he explodes again. And then All Might says, I am here. And he tells Deku, it was a good move, and you gave me the courage to come and help. And he just collects the villain and jumps off. And then Bakugo's like, thank you, Deku. Like, he's kind of pissed that he couldn't deal with it, and Deku did. And Deku just instantly calms down because he stops using his anger form. I'm going to call it, it's basically like a Super Saiyan because it's like anger, but I'm going to call it anger. I'm going to call it Anger Ki. Stupid name, but I'm just going to call it that. He's like, no problem, Bakugo, as he jumps over, and like all the people are like, what is your quirk? And like the heroes are like, hey, why'd you yell at us? Or why'd you say you'll kill us if you did that? You're acting like a villain. Deku's like, no, I can't control my Ki, or I can't control anything when I go into that form. I can barely control my movement, but I can't even control what I say. And they're like, this kid be a really good villain and hero quirk. And then like they're all yelling, what's your quirk? What's your quirk? Like they're saying, what's your name and stuff, and he's like, oh, my name is Izuku Midoriya, but you guys can call me Deku. So Deku just jumps off after, and though he just says, oh yeah, my name's you guys can call me Deku, and they're saying, what's your quirk? What's your quirk? And he's just like, oh, I don't have one. And I'm like, what? But you clearly have one. And he's like, nope. When I was 4 years old, the doctor told me I didn't have one. I showed him it, and he still said, I don't really know how to tell you this, but you still don't have a quirk. I'm like, I guess it must just be my power or something. So he jumps off, and then when he's walking home, Bakugo thanks him and goes away. And then All Might appears and says, thank you for saving that kid. I'd like to make you my successor for my quirk. And then he just explains, and then Deku's like, nope, I don't want it. I don't want it. You keep your power. I don't think I'm suitable for it. And he's like, why? Because every time I use my one power, it pretty much turns me into a villain. Even though I can still control my legs and arms, I can't control what I say. And if I do anything, it will just completely... And All Might's like, well, I'll give you time to think about this, and I'll come by. Meet me at the beach in a week and tell me what your answer is. I'd also like to train you. So meet me at the beach in a week. Deku says, okay, leaves, and then he's at his house. And yeah, I'm going to have to end it here. Next video, I'm going to do the 10 months training with All Might and the UA entrance exam. So I hope you guys did enjoy this What If Deku Had Goku Black's Powers. And please drop a like, comment, and subscribe for more videos every single day. And please do give me suggestions on another What If for next week. See you guys. Bye.